you can improve yourself, not as a person, but what you do, the process. The good news is that TMMI can be applied in all kinds of software development life cycles. People feel more comfortable, more relaxed, more satisfied, and that's why the fluctuation rate tends to fall at companies who implement TMMI. Every company has a problem because they know, each manager knows that they can be better.
Welcome to Software Testing Unleashed. My name is Richie and I'm happy to share another episode from the TestCon 5 conference from Mauritius. My guest today was Zsolt Hargitai and we talked about TMMI, a framework to improve our test process. What the maturity levels 2 to 5 mean, how an assessment shows you where you stand, and what comes next, and why mature teams prevent defects instead of finding them. Enjoy the episode. Hi, Zsolt. Great to have you here in the show.
Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, as I just learned in your speech, Mr. Zsolt.
Oh, yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, we are here in Mauritius, the TestCon 5 conference, and you just gave your speech about TMMI. And I said, okay, TMMI is a topic I want to have in the podcast too. And now you're here as an expert for TMMI.
Yeah, thanks for having me here. Yeah, actually, this topic is it's a evergreen topic.
Yeah. So let's go into it. Well, what is TMMI? What is this for? And
TMMI basically targets the processes at a company who is doing testing. So it's a test process improvement framework. It's a methodology, and basically the end result is that at a company you can reach a higher level of test processes, which produces for you faster and better results. Mm-hmm. And then you can measure it in terms of money, in terms of time, and that's what the management wants to see. Mm-hmm. But also in my presentation, I mentioned that there are indirect benefits as well, that people feel more comfortable, more relaxed, more satisfied, and that's why the fluctuation rate tends to fall at companies who implement TMMI.
Mm-hmm. And is it more an assessment for my test organization, or is it more an improvement of the maturity?
Oh yeah, the basis is that you can improve yourself, not as a person, but what you do, the process. And if the testers improve their processes, that's the baseline, and that's what you can gain after implementation of TMMI. And if you want to prove it that you reached a certain level of maturity, then comes the assessment. And then an assessor can come to your company doing the assessment, and as an end result of an assessment, you can gain and you can prove through a certification that your company reached level 2, 3, 4, 5 of TMMI.
Yeah. Okay, and such an accreditation or such a, when I get the audit and I have a special level, that means that TMMI is a relevant standard in the international testing community. Do you have any numbers for us, how big it is and how long it is on the market?
Yes, but it's continuously changing. So if you go to the website, there are the numbers of certified companies and how many members we have, and it's changing. It's changing every day. So so it's better to visit the website, tmmi.org.
Okay, but it's an international standard. There are a lot of companies worldwide involved.
Yes, and we also wanted to know how big it is, but in not just the terms of number and how many companies implement it, but how well known it is. And this is the most referenced test process improvement methods in the world. So this is now on a wide scale, the world leading model.
Okay, yeah. And you mentioned different levels of maturity. Can you explain us these different levels on a big picture view, that we know but maybe when someone hears it, can say, okay, maybe we are on one or two.
Okay, I try to explain someone who listen us and hear something about TMMI. So, if you start doing testing, now the big question is, how do you start? What would you start with? And then, with some words, you would put down the basic cornerstones. And what are these? These are the fundamental test process. You need some kind of planning, the design, implementation, everything, analysis, but also the completion and everything, the whole fundamental test process described by ISTQB. That's what you need, because once you are there, you have a plan, then you start to create your, test cases, and then you do the testing, and then you close down your, test phase or your test project. And once everything is there, then you are having or holding the basics of testing. But that doesn't mean that, for example, the testers are synchronized or the testers are synchronized with the developers, the communication and the processes and tool usage and all kinds of processes. And this comes on the level 3. When a company focuses on the test team, how the test team is structured at all. Are the testers working for different projects, or they are centralized as a whole testing unit, in a testing unit? Is this decision made? Consciously made this decision? Someone should ask it and check it whether, yes, we made a conscious decision about the test team and how they work with the developers, whether they got enough trainings and support that the testers develop themselves, every each of the testers, so the individuals. And that's level 3. Basically, I would say a kind of fine-tuning, everything, but you put down at the level 2. And then once you go up in maturity, at some point, your management will ask you, what are the results? Can you prove it? How much money did we save? What is the coverage? So KPIs and metrics. And this is the focus point of level 4. And if a company goes even further than that, there is a turning point when they are not focusing on finding the defects, but more like preventing the defects. So that's why they are turning into a different mindset and doing everything in order to eliminate defects at the beginning. So basically preventing putting defects into the processes, and that's a very mature way of thinking.
Yeah, so that's the association I have is for level 5. We are more also in quality engineering and doing all the quality stuff above the whole software development life cycle, and not just doing the testing stuff there. Yeah. So now, when I have a company and I'm doing testing, and someone says to me, do the TMMI stuff, and I would say, well, why should I do that? It's nice to get there and prevent something, but it also costs a lot of effort to get there. And what are the main reasons to go there and implement it?
If someone says that to me, the first reaction what I have, I tend to ask back, what is your problem with the current, testing? Do you have any problems? And every company has a problem, because they know, each manager knows that they can be better. Okay, if you are not better, then why not? What prevents you to be better? And many companies doesn't know objectively what is their standpoint, where they are, how good they are. There is no objective, framework or whatever that shows them then, hey, whatever you do is roughly that good. And TMMI can show you that on this scale you are here.
Yeah.
And then this is already valuable to know where am I. But TMMI can also show you what is the next step, what is the next step, what is the next step, and how can you be better. And this is valuable for managers, all kinds of managers. Let it be a company leader or a test manager leader or someone, a business unit leader, whoever, because that's what their goal is, to improve the end results and also improve the team.
Yeah. The TMMI has I imagine that there is a special depth how deep it goes into the testing process and then what to look at. And there is a point where it doesn't match to the software development lifecycle I use, because we have in the companies not just the classic traditional ones, sequential, we have all the agile stuff, and we have a bunch of mixed hybrids. We're doing anything. How do you address that in TMMI? Or is this a topic on how deep do you go into the testing processes and the development process?
The good news is that TMMI can be applied in all kinds of software development life cycles. So if one of your projects follows agile, the other one is V model based development, everything is okay, and anything goes, and TMMI can support it. There are white papers that focuses on, for example, on DevOps. So if you are deep in DevOps, TMMI can support you. And now there's the AI is a hot topic, and TMMI has also a white paper that deals with the AI. So basically, whatever is your background or your project background, TMMI can be applied.
And to check which level I have, you said in the speech there is a lot of free material on the TMMI website. We will link to that in the show notes. Is there some checklists for each level where I can check, okay, this and that is in my company, or how does it work in practical?
Yeah, to support the very first step, there is a downloadable Excel sheet. It's a tool developed by the TMMI Foundation, and over there, as a starting point, you can check for yourself the level 2 and level 3 elements or process area, how we call it, and then you will get a very quick feedback, and the tool itself is called lightning scan tool, because this is really like a flash, very fast. You can do it in minutes. Download, fill out, and then that's the first impression of your maturity. And then if you want to go deeper, then there are downloadable materials, so you can read it. You can learn it by yourself. So you can download it by yourself. But if you want to go very deep, then I can advise do a training. During a training, you can really learn all kinds of aspects of TMMI. And if you want to do it at your company and have an assessment, it's better to call a consultant who can support you.
Okay. And you said that TMMI is changing over time, so they are reflecting new technologies, innovations like AI and all this stuff. What's the pace of this new releases for TMMI, and how does it reflect old assessment? When I get my company assessed 5 years ago, and is it still well at my level, or do I have to reassess that?
Okay, yeah. Because of that changing of our IT world, they expire after some time. So you have to renew it on a company level. But your first part of your question focused on the of the model itself.
Yes.
Actually, the TMMI Foundation is checking I would say the accuracy or the relevance of the model on the market, and if there is if TMMI Foundation sees the need, then now the IT world has changed a lot. Then we are accommodating, and then we are changing the models. This is actually in progress.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and if the change is not a huge change of the IT world, but maybe a small addition, then there are so-called white papers. You know how TMMI can be applied in agile environment or in DevOps environment. You know, or using AI. These white papers are also accessible on the website.
Mm-hmm. Great. So there is no excuse to use it and to look at it. It's free on the website. We will link it in the show notes. And we will also put there your contact details if someone has a question or something about that. Zsolt, thank you very much that you were here in the podcast. And it's really an interesting topic for me too, for my clients. So I will take it with me. And hope you enjoy the rest of the conference and also Mauritius. And see you soon.
Thanks for the talk, Richard.
Thank you.
Bye.